सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मङ्गलाचरणम्। 1% to chant Narayana. तपोभिः
हेमावती जी
क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां. Everybody else can mute themselves. Yeah.
मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम्
आत्मबोधो विधीयते. तपोभिः क्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां.
मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम्
आत्मबोधो विधीयते. Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
So today I hope we can come to this Mangalacharanam shloka. This is called Mangalacharanam. As soon as we complete that introduction. So we have understood so far that the human being is significantly different from every animal, and we understood the difference from our Vedanta perspective, not from a zoology or a biology perspective. Many other perspectives are there based on which you can distinguish. Not even from the size of brain perspective. It is this three things. What are the three things? Self-conscious, free-willed, means gifted with self-consciousness, agency, and therefore self-judgment. Has the capacity to judge oneself. That judging oneself is useful, but it also becomes a bane. It becomes a cause for samsara karanam. Samsara means the quote-unquote human suffering. Alright, this much we have seen. We don't need to go back again. And we said that Purusharthas are three in number: Artha, Kama and Dharma. Security, pleasure and righteousness or Punya Papa. Security, pleasure, insurance for future security and happiness. Future security and pleasure. Punya Papa is insurance, correct? Savings for the future. That is what is dharma. And that can only happen through leading a righteous life. So righteousness and Punya Papa go together. Punyam. Papa you can skip there. Punyam. Alright, this much we have seen. Now this is universal. Is it specific to Indians or Americans or Germans and all? If you say no, this is for all human beings. We've been analyzing human beings in general. Therefore, Purusharthas are universal. Sarvaihi Purushaihi Arthyate iti Purusharthaha. Alright, Sarvaihi means all people. And Shankara will say in Atmabodha that this dharma, artha, kama, artha, dharma, whichever order you want to say, security, pleasure. Okay, let's start with those basic. Security and pleasure, to achieve that, you have to do something. You have to do something. Karma has to be done. I feel like I have to get a degree, advanced degree. Why? What happened? I only have a bachelor's. So what? A lot of people are there with bachelor's. Many people don't even have bachelor's. What's your problem? No, I want to get a master's. Okay. Once you have the desire, then you can't be happy. You can't be contented without getting the master's desire. Once the thing has entered in your head, you have to get it somehow. And so you have to get it. Means what? You have to do something. Come on. Make an effort. Figure out where to get your masters from, what area. Everything you have to decide. And then sign up. And then year later, 2 years later, you get your master's degree. So you have to put in, there's a lot of effort. Anything you want to do in your home, I want this. I want new furniture. Means what? We are not people with all these siddhas, Suddenly you think of furniture and then one type of furniture just comes home. Not like that. It won't happen. We are talking of normal people. You got to work on it. That work, W-O-R-K. Like when I first went abroad, and this guy Shekhar used to keep saying, and I have to go to work. At 8 p.m. you are going to go to work. And I used to wonder, what is this 8 p.m. these guys are going to work? And finally I ended up doing the same thing. After dinner and all, I also went to work. And then from 8 o'clock onwards till 12 midnight we used to work. So I used to go to work. So that work, and you have to work. Doesn't matter. If you want to get artha, kama, you have to work. Work it out. It may be simple, it may be long, it may be a big project, it may be a small little task. Still you have to work. That is what it is. That is why these three are called karma phalam. Work is called karma, result is called phalam. Karma phalam. Karma and result of karma. Karma and karma phalam. Dharma, artha, kama are karma phalam. Or if you want to put it this side, dharma, artha, kama are karma phalam. But then, Shastram says very clearly, which you will study. What is it? This dharmartha kama, these three, anything that you get by doing something is going to be limited. Why? Because the action is also limited. Whatever I do, despite, you might say, great effort. Yeah, great effort also is finite only. Therefore, whenever the input is finite, the output will be what? It can't be infinite. It has to be finite. Finite. This is the science. This is the law. Simple law. Finite input will give only finite output. Therefore, Shastram says, this karma phalam, the result of your effort is going to be finite. The word in Sanskrit for finite is parichinnam. Or sometimes we use the word anityam. Anityam means temporal or temporary. Anityam. Subject to time, the result will vaporize in time, will disappear in time. That is why we are constantly doing the same thing again and again. You have to keep cleaning the house. Every day here we do in India. In some places, some countries, once a week only, you vacuum the carpet. But you have to keep on doing it. Then the time will come when you have to change the oil in your car. Why? You changed the oil. Did you or did you not? Yeah, I changed the oil. When did you change? But that was so many months ago. Yeah, so many months ago. So you got to work on it. Keep on doing it. Then he says, so therefore, how can I be fulfilled? How can I be happy? If somebody asks. Now these things are not really making me permanently happy. I want to be happy and I want to be permanently happy. That is the only concern we have. My happiness seems to come and go. Like waves, it comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. This is not acceptable to me. Okay, most people settle for that. But I am not, I can't settle for it. Then what happens? This person begins to think through all these things. And then becomes aware of what is called moksha. Dharmartha kama or artha kama dharma and then moksha. Moksha, another Purushartha is there. There is another one of the four, the quadruple. It is now quadruple. So far I said 3. Now I am saying there is a fourth one. Moksha. Until now, moksha has never been there in my radar. Because life has been fine all along. Veda has not been there in the radar. Bhagavad Gita has not been there in the radar. Atmabodha is not there in the radar. Shankaracharya also is not there in the radar. Nobody has disturbed me so far. Nobody has entered my head. But slowly in time, this thing starts happening. And then all these texts become relevant to me. Bhagavad Gita becomes relevant. Then you look at other people and say, yeah, there is something in it. And as the clock keeps ticking, then the seriousness also increases. Moksha it's called. So, to be brief, these are all big topics. That is what Shankara is also going to talk about. And so we'll elaborate periodically. So what is moksha? If you say, Shastram will say, moksha is that. Moksha is freedom from, I want to be free from sorrow. I want to be free from all these inadequacies. I want to be free from all this sense of incompleteness. Something is not right. Something is not right. Something is always not right. And as we get older, this body is there. Tell me what is right about this body. Is the body 100% all right? You please tell me. Anybody who says my body is 100% all right, we should say we're blessed. We're blessed. We're blessed because that's a blessing. To have a body at 60, 70, which is perfect, no problem. This person doesn't even know the spelling of the word surgery. Arey wah, that's great. I've never been to the doctor. Be happy, be blessed. That's what we say. So nothing is ever all right. Family also little bit this way, that way. So everything is this way, that way. And so this moksha, Shastram says, it has nothing to do with this kind of experience itself, because body is always going to be this way, that way. Getting moksha doesn't mean suddenly body will not age, stop aging. It does not mean that. People get confused because they don't know what moksha is. The maximum we can do is take care of our body. Maximum we can do is prolong our life. Maximum we can do is do something, get some emotional stability, so I can have a reasonably happy life. That we can do. Even that many people are not able to do. So that much is good. That's all we can go to. Beyond that we can't go. If we have to go beyond that, we need, in our Shastram, what we say is, in our culture, we will say, we need the Shastram to step in. Or I have to step into the Shastram. Veda. So Veda says, this moksha is not karma phalam. Okay? I am pausing there. Moksha is not karma phalam. Means what? Moksha cannot be gained by action. This is Advaita Vedanta. There is not other. Hinduism also, there are a lot of other views, darshanas are there. They don't talk like this. We say that moksha is, what is moksha? Freedom from any inadequacy, freedom from incompleteness, people say permanent happiness and all. The reason we don't use the word happiness is because our idea of happiness is that which you experience. That which you experience. Sorrow also I experience. Happiness also I experience. The minute you put happiness in the experience category, then nobody can change that. Nobody can change that, because by definition, experience is that which comes and goes. Is there some other kind of happiness? Non-experiential happiness? That is what we are asking the question. That inquiry is called the inquiry study of Advaita Vedanta. Because people don't get here, there is a big hunt for experience. The whole experience hunting world is out there. Any technique, any breathing technique you can offer, special technique, and it gives peace of mind. People want peace of mind. You can offer it or not. Even if you are charging a lot of money, if it works for me, I'll pay that money. That's it. It works. Let it happen. Let all that happen. But we are not concerned about that. Right? It comes under the category of experiential happiness, and it is karma phalam. Therefore, it will be anityam. That also will be coming and going. Better than before. I have a little more peace of mind. Every time I am sad, I can do that kriya and then I get better. Good. We need all these things. But that's not the area we are in. We are in the area of what is called moksha. Alright. I won't talk much more about that than to say that there is a story in the Chandogya Upanishad. You can write the number if you want. Later on you can Google and see. 7.1.1. Chandogya Upanishad 7.1.1. Many of my senior students know this story. Others I'll tell you what it is. It's not a big story. It's a short dialogue between Narada and Sanatkumara. Some people ask me, are you teaching foreigners? I said, I'm teaching foreigners. I'm teaching people who want to study Advaita Vedanta. It could be a foreigner. They are all Indians only. As far as I know, Indians only come to my classes. And why? What is wrong? Is it wrong to teach Indians? Is it correct only to teach foreigners or what? Some idea people have all these things. It is easier to teach Indians because when I say a dialogue between Narada and Sanatkumara, everybody will have at least heard the word Narada. I don't have to give a big... Now go back to Mahabharata and Ramayana and then keep talking about all the Puranas. Narayana, Narayana. I have to go back. This will become another big lecture. I don't have to do all that. Narada, if I say, all of you understand Narada. That's the advantage. I don't know how Swamijis alone went abroad and taught all these things. I still just mind-boggling. They must have a particular way of telling it. Anyway, Sanatkumara. He comes to Sanatkumara. Sanatkumara is one of the students of Shiva and all. There is a story. But Sanatkumara. It can be any Sanatkumara. Okay. So Narada approaches Sanatkumara. Our favorite Narada, whom we have studied in Amar Chitrakatha comic strips and not comic strips, books, and we've seen in television, all the movies we've seen. These days I don't know if they're coming up with those movies, but those days we used to see many movies. And he's always going from one world to another world. In our Shastram we have many worlds. So from Indraloka he'll go to Varunaloka. From Varunaloka he'll go to, for a change, Shivaloka. I have not seen Shiva in a long time. What's he doing? This man is constantly meditating. I want to go and talk to him. Does he know he's forgotten how to talk, or does he talk? I want to figure it out. So he's waiting, patiently waiting until Shiva comes out of meditation. And Narayana, Narayana. And he's lucky today, Narada, because meditating, and then he started Shiva Tandavam dancing also. My God, Shiva Tandavam I have come. How many of you have seen Shiva Tandavam? I got the chance to see. Like that he comes in. Anyway, that Narada meets Sanatkumara and tells Sanatkumara. Sanatkumara is a learned person. And he tells Sanatkumara, please teach me something. Adihi. Adihi Bhagava, he says. Adihi means, may you teach me. Pataya. Teach me something. Then Sanatkumara says, Narada is not an ordinary guy. So he says, you tell me what you know. You show me your resume. Then I will, based on that, what is the point in teaching you what you already know? So based on that, I'll teach you. Then he says, Yad vetha tena mopasida. Yad vetha, that you know, you please tell me. Then tataha te urdhvam vakshyami. Then based on that, urdhvam. Beyond that, if you don't know something, I will tell you. That's what he says. Okay. Then Narada says, Rig Vedam, Yajurvedam Adhyemi. Okay. Rigvedam Bhagavo Adhyemi. I know Rigveda. Look at that. He starts. That's his resume. His curriculum vitae starts with Rigveda. Correct? Rigvedam Adhyemi. Yajurvedam Samavedam Atharvanaha. All 4 Vedas, not one Veda. He is a Chaturvedi Tirtaha. Who is Narada? Next time when you see Narada, you change his name. Oh, Chaturvedi is walking. Everybody look at you. My God, what are you talking? Yeah, he is a Chaturvedi. All right. And Itihasa Puranam Panchamam. Okay, there's a big list is there. I have to look up this list. Itihasa Puranam. Itihasam means Ramayana, Mahabharata. Puranam means 18 Puranas. Huge voluminous granthas written by Veda Vyasa. Okay. So the famous Bhagavata Purana is one of the 18 Puranas. Okay. Then there is Shiva Purana, Arishchandra Purana, Agni Purana, Matsya Puranam, like this huge 18 are there. He's finished it all. Itihasa Puranam. Panchamam he said, because it is called Panchamo Vedaha. That corpus is called Panchamo Vedaha. Then, like this, he gives a big list. Big list he gives, and he talks about Deva Vidya. Hey, in order to understand the Veda, you need something. You need to know something. What is that something? This language, grammar and all you need to know. That also I know. Obviously. Communicating in a language. You have to know the language. Otherwise, where is communication? Where is study? Where is advancing your knowledge? Nothing. So he says, I know all that. That's called Deva Vidya. He uses the word Deva Vidya. Then Bhuta Vidya, Kshatra Vidya, Nakshatra Vidya. Like this, he gives a very big list. You can look it up. 7.1.1. Okay. Vakyo Vakyam Nidhim. Tarka Shastram, logic also I know. And then predictive disciplines like Jyotisham. And prediction of the so-called calamities, dangers. That is a separate science. That also I know. Like that he gives a very big list. Sarpa Deva Jana Vidyam. Sarpa Vidyam. So this whole world of snakes and Garuda and all that is a separate science. One type of family, animal family. Serpents were always respected in our culture, like other animals. So, Taksha, the leader of serpents and all, there is a big story. So, Sarpa Vidya, Deva Vidya, Jana Vidya. So, like that, he talks about Deva Jana Vidya. Fine arts. Fine arts, dance, music, classical music, rock music also included. Classical music, if you know, rock music is nothing. Okay, so everything I figured it out. I know all these things. Vocal, music, instrumental. He gives a big list and he says, Etad Bhagavo Adhyemi. This is what I know. Then he says, Soham Bhagavo Mantravidevasmi. Hey Bhagavan. He's addressing Sanatkumara as Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Ishvara, God. So in our culture, that view is there. Maybe that's how all these British people got this Lord and all that. They say Queen and all. Lord Mountbatten. I used to wonder, what is this Lord Mountbatten? And maybe it came from us. We don't know. I don't know that history, that part of the British history. Anyway, kings and queens were there for a long time. So it doesn't matter. They must have had it also. Etad Bhagavo Adhyemi. This is all I know. But then Mantravideva Asmi. Asmi, Aham Asmi. I am only a Mantravit. Eva. He uses the word Eva. Eva. But I am only a Mantravit. I know only the mantras. What? This list you gave, Ramayanam, I've heard. I know whatever I heard, but I have not studied Ramayanam. Valmiki Ramayanam is a big text. It has 64,000 verses, shlokas. Okay? 64,000, not 64, not 640, not 6,400, 64,000 shlokas. People read it. They do Parayanam of each chapters of this Valmiki. So much is going on. That itself I have not entered. And you know so much Chaturvedi you are. And you are saying, I only know mantras. What else is there to know? Is there something else to know? He himself says, Narada now says, look at this. Mantra videvasmi. Natu atmavit. Natu atmavit. That vit means knower of. So mantra vit means knower of mantras. Atmavit means knower of Atma. I know all these things, but I don't know Atma. Look at Narada's admission. Narada's admission. Okay? And he says, Shrutaha hyeva me Bhagavan Bhagavat Shrutebhyaha Bhagavat Shrutebhyaha Bhagavat Drishebhyaha. Those who have seen Bhagavan, those who have seen the Lord, so to speak, those who have seen God, from them, Bhagavat Drishebhyaha Shrutaha heva. I've heard. What have I heard? Tarati Shokam Atmavit. You can underline that phrase. Tarati Shokam Atmavit. Tarati is the verb here. Tarati. Tarati means one who swims. One who swims. One who knows to swim is called. And able to swim. Tarati. One who swims. Who swims? Atmavit. Atmavit Tarati. This person who knows Atma is able to swim. Swim what? Shokam, he says. Shokam. He is able to swim in this ocean of sorrow. Ocean of sorrow. He is able to swim. Means what? The idea is the person who knows to swim does not drown. That's the meaning. He cannot get drowned in this ocean of sorrow. That's the idea. So, Tarati Shokam Atmavit. So why? I mean, so what about you? You also know a lot. You can also swim this ocean of sorrow. No, I don't. Why? Because if I were Soham Bhagavo Shochami or Soham Bhagava Shochami. Hey Bhagavan, Aham Shochami. I am grieving. मुझको शोक होता है. I am grieving. Even after knowing so much, I am sad, he says. I am sad. Narada saying I am sad makes me sad, okay? So, because we didn't think Narada will ever be sad. We've never seen a sad Narada. Always smiling and doing mischief. Constant. Okay? So he said, Bhagavo soham bhagavas shochami. Okay? I am sad. I grieve. Like that he said. And so he himself, Narada himself, points to the solution to his problem of sorrow. What is the solution to his problem of sorrow? Tarati shokam atmavit. Only the atmavit, only the atmajnani, only the knower of Atma, only the one who knows the self can cross over this ocean of sorrow. Is the one who can say, I do not grieve, like that. Answer is there in this statement itself. And so, then finally Narada says, Shokasya param tarayatu. Tarayatu. Make me cross over this ocean of samsara. Shokasya param. Take me to the other shore of this ocean. That means what? That means what? Right here in this statement, I want to be an Atmavit. Teach me Atmabodha ityartha. Correct? Or give me Atmabodha. Bodha means teaching. Teaching of what? Of Atma. So, this Atmabodha is the theme of the entire Upanishad. Okay? There is only one text which talks about Atmabodha. What is the one text? There's only one text that talks about the knowledge of self. What is that one text?
Atmabodha.
No. I was expecting another answer.
Veda. Veda.
Upanishad.
Correct?
Chandogya
Veda.
360.
Correct. Only Veda can talk about Atmabodha. Nobody else. You can't even say Krishna. Krishna also borrows from the Veda only. He was a student at Sandipani. You can't say Bhagavad Gita. Original text, only text available, Veda, and that too in the Veda, there is only one portion talking about Atma, and that portion is called Upanishad. That is the source. What about the remaining portion of the Veda? Remaining portion, let me show you. So I keep saying Veda, nobody knows what Veda is. So here is one volume of the Yajurveda. Okay, it's almost as big as me. Okay, so it's called Taittiriya Samhita of Krishna Yajurveda. Okay, that's what it is. So A4 size page is there. It's a thick book of 300 pages. It's a portion of it. And if you ask me, open the book and show me, okay, I can open the book. That's not a problem. So here it is. So, okay, I'll show you another page here. Okay. It's just a text going from top of the page to the bottom of the page. Sanskrit. Occasionally you will have a chapter title. That's it. There is no bullet, there is no hyphen, there is no semicolon, there is no comma, there is nothing. There is only a period. Occasionally you will see a period. And this is called the Veda. All this 95-96% of the Veda is all talking about what? Dharmartha Kama. Dharmartha Kama. Moksha, no. Dharmartha Kama. Then small fraction of the Veda talks about this moksha. That is called Upanishad. Upanishad. So that is the only source for us. Bhagavad Gita derives from the Upanishad. Okay? And so, that idea is there. In Lalita Sahasranamam, this Dharmartha Kama Moksha is there. So, you can see some shlokas there. Sarvartha Dhatri, Savitri. Sarvartha Dhatri, Savitri. So, you are Savitri, who is the Dhatri, who is the giver of Sarva Artha. All the Arthas, all the source of security that you only give me. Artha. Then Kama also is there. The Kama, a lot of words are there. Kama Dayini will come in one of the shlokas. 23. Sudha Sagara Madhyastha Kamakshi Kama Dayini. Kama Dayini. Dayini, giver of. You are the bestower of. You are the one who gives what? Kama. Kama means all my wishes. You are the one who fulfills my wishes. All trivial wishes also and very sophisticated wishes also. Everything you only fulfill. Dharmadhara. Dhanadhyaksha, Dhanadhanya Vivardhini, Dharmadhara. You are the Adhara of Dharma. You are the embodiment of Dharma. How can you not give me Dharma? So Dharmadhara. Then like that, the word moksha is there in the form of much dhatu. And so, Tattvadika, Tattvamayi, Tattvamartha Swarupini, Tattvamartha Swarupini. Sounds like Tattvamasi. Sounds like Tattvamartha Swarupini. So, you are giving me all these things not to keep me addicted to these things, but I know you will take me towards, from Dharma Artha Kama, you will take me towards moksha. I'm not going to get stuck in this Dharma Artha Kama, because this is an unending thing. That is why Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Why? Because there is no end to it. There is no end to it. And so therefore this idea of moksha becomes important for us. For us means for us people who've been thinking about it, who are ready to. And moksha means you sometimes we just look at some books and then we got introduced to it. Sometimes it is there in the family itself. Family itself it is there. That discussion, it may not be there, but that ethos is there. That thought process is there. And people will even occasionally talk about it. So the growing up child knows it. Knows it. What knows what? Dharmartha Kama is limited. This is not the goal in my life. The goal of my life is there in this category. It's called moksha. But I need Dharmartha Kama. Because I need to survive, For survival you need Dharmartha Kama. But for fulfillment I need moksha. Alright. That much is there. So moksha. So what is every religion talks about their own idea of moksha. They call it liberation. In English we use the word liberation. Every language has their own word. And even in our own Sanatana Dharma, moksha is understood differently by different people. Most common meaning of moksha is what? After death I will reach heaven. I will reach heaven. And I will merge with God. Or I will be in the company of God. Some description each religion has. Let that be. Let that be. And we will say, if that going to heaven is a result of karma, then going to heaven may be a result. But that result is what? Parichinnam. It is finite. And therefore, after going to heaven, just like suddenly you appeared in front of God, suddenly this Duta will come and take you away from heaven. You say, what are you doing? I am enjoying this dance. Urvashi Dramba dance is going on. Time's up. Time's up, he will say, pull you out of there. What time's up? Yeah, karma phalam. Time's up. Now what? Whatever Yama decides next, that is the nature of this going to heaven, coming to heaven. Like that, Advaita Vedanti will talk like this. This is us talking. Others won't talk like that. Again, you ask ChatGPT, what is the difference between Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita and Dvaita? ChatGPT will do a better job than we can do. I'm telling you. It will put bold titles, then subtitles it will give, and then bullet points it will give, and then finally it will ask you, would you like me to explain to you all the other darshanas? It's called Shad Darshanas, and like that it will say. And then you don't even know what Shad Darshana is, and ChatGPT is just saying all these things. And then you'll have to say, no, wait, I'm still digesting this. I'll come back to you later. And it remembers all your discussion also. Arey wah. You can come back 1 month later and say, remember our discussion? Yes, I do. I want to continue that discussion. Are you ready for it? Of course I'm ready. I've still not asked the question to ChatGPT. Are you enlightened? I'm waiting to ask. Not yet. I'm not ready to ask that. Sometime later I'll do it. So, Therefore, we have come to a point of what? Talking about moksha, which says that you are already free. You just don't know that you are free. You are already free from that inadequacy that you were talking about. You just don't know that you are free from that inadequacy. You are seeking something, and guess what? You are seeking yourself. You just don't know it. Like that, big thesis. Very, very, very big thesis it is. And that is only approach, that is only possibility. Okay? That is how Advaita Vedanta presents the thesis. So like Narada said, Shokasya param tarayatu atmavit tarati shokam. That's the idea. Shokam, because finally matlab hona chahiye. This whole pursuit has to be meaningful. Meaningful. If I have to spend an hour a day or hour every week, it has to be meaningful. And we have come to a point where we are more conscious about the choices we make. As we grow older, we are more conscious. And so every time is money, I won't say. Time is precious. Time is precious. Time is precious. And so that's how we get into this Atmabodha. And I said, wait a minute, you said only Upanishad is the source. Why are we studying Atmabodha? Well, so that is why. Upanishad is we pick up and then we start reading, nothing we'll understand. Already Sanskrit we don't know. Even the knower of Sanskrit will not understand anything from the Upanishad. That's how the Upanishads are. They're all cryptic and sometimes poetic also. And we need somebody to extract the essence from all these things and elaborate on the essence. So that elaboration is what gives all the text to us, like Atmabodha, like Dakshinamurti Stotram, like Viveka Chudamani. All these texts are coming. Why? Upanishad, I can't approach. Even though it is there in front of me, it is as good as not there for me. And then you've got Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is little more elaborate. 700 plus shlokas are there. Okay. And that also requires some teacher to unfold it. Even though there are books and all that, Bhagavad Gita is more popular. Why it is more popular? Because it's in the form of shlokas and it's more elaborate, so it gives room to talk about various aspects of our life. Dharmartha Kama also involved in that, in the Bhagavad Gita. In Upanishads, often Dharmartha Kama not included. It is direct Moksha Shastra. So, but we need a lot of background. We've kind of moved away from all these things. So somebody has to give a lot of introduction. Even the introduction I gave is not enough. There's still a lot more to talk about. Still a lot more to talk about. I'll introduce it periodically. Because I'm looking at myself. Already this is the 4th or 5th class and then we have to get into Atmabodha. But that's enough. This introduction is enough for you to make you quiz, to make you think about this whole idea. And to set the stage. When I ask you to close I give you a bottle and then I give you a lid of the bottle and I ask you to close the bottle. What will you do? The minute you put the lid, then what will you do? Will you close the lid? No, you won't do it. Many of you will just to go the opposite way, little bit, half a round, until it clicks. Once it clicks, then what will you do? Then it's no problem. Until it clicks. So you have to go back until it clicks. So I also did the same thing. I went back 2-3 classes and so that it will click to us why we are studying this Atmabodha. Alright. So you've got Upanishads, then you've got Bhagavad Gita, then you have Acharyas who have written on this Moksha Shastram, this Moksha. And the written books are all called Prakarana Granthas. Prakarana Granthas. Written books means what? Books are texts written by by a human being, by a human mind. They're called Paurusheya Granthaha. Paurusheyam means is that which is written by a human being. Apaurusheyam, then what is Upanishad? Upanishad is called Apaurusheyam, not written by a human mind, not the product of a human mind. This is what separates Upanishads from everything else. Everything else. That is why Bhagavad Gita also, even though Krishna is teaching, our own favorite Krishna is teaching, still it is Apaurusheyam. It is Paurusheyam. It is Vyasajanyam. Vyasena gratitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam. We saw all that. So Vyasa wrote it. And so, even though Vyasa is Narayana for us, but here in this context, Paurusheyam. Alright. Then Paurusheyam, not authored by a human mind, authored by human mind. In this Paurusheya Granthas, they are all typically called Prakarana Granthas. You've got Laukika Granthas also. People write novels and this and that. That is also Paurusheyam only. But as far as we are concerned, Moksha Shastram, Paurusheyam, is called Prakarana Granthaha. Prakarana Granthaha. Why? Because the person who is writing can now choose one aspect of this Moksha Shastram, because that also is many aspects are there, or can choose 2 or 3 aspects and then highlight it in that person's book. Granthaha. And so that is called Prakarana. Prakarana means an aspect or aspects. Prakarana. And that is what it is. Atmabodha is one of the many Prakarana Granthas written by many authors. Shankaracharya has written, other authors have written. And some famous texts we study. We study Shankaracharya's own texts, plus other texts like Ramana Maharshi, or this Sadashiva Brahmendra. So there are some standard texts we study in our tradition. Numerous texts are there. And among the Prakarana Granthas, there are some basic Granthas and there are some advanced Granthas. Basic, advanced. The basic ones are called Nyaya Granthas. Okay, Nyaya Granthas. And the advanced ones are called Siddhi Granthas. Siddhi Granthaha. Nyaya Grantha, Siddhi Grantha. Nyaya is basic. Basic means what? It gives you an overview of Atma or Brahma or fulfillment or Moksha, and without getting into a lot of technicalities. Siddhi Grantha means they get into technicalities. They get into Purva Paksha Siddhanta. They get into a lot of debates. And then the debates have to be resolved, and they establish this moksha as the they establish this Atmabodha. Establish the whole purport of the Shastram. That is called Siddhi Grantha. Here Atmabodha, 60 some verses are there, 68 I think here in Atmabodha. So sometimes therefore Siddhi Granthas are much longer. Upadesha Sahasri means 1000 shlokas are there. And people will get into it. Those who have figured it out and they have nothing better, nothing else to do. After knowing all this, there is nothing else to do. Then what will you do? Then they look into all these things. So that's how we get into this Atmabodha. Alright, we are entering the text of Atmabodha. Atma Bodha. 2 words are there. Bodha means knowledge. Knowledge. The minute you say knowledge, you have to ask me what knowledge of what? Knowledge of what? Then knowledge of Atma. Atmanaha Bodhaha, Atma Bodhaha. Knowledge of Atma. Then what is different? How is this different from everything else? Well, you know that everything else is dharmartha kama, and that comes under what category? Anatma. How about that? Now we can start using all these words. It is all anatma. Everything I have studied so far, including ways to invest your money in the post-COVID world, that is also anatma only, and everything is anatma. Even psychology is anatma vidya only, because it is about the mind. We'll come to that later. But everything we study in general is anatma, and therefore this study distinguishes itself by saying this is all about atma, the self. Everything else we studied is about the non-self. This is the study of the self. Alright. So then what is this atma, if you ask? I'm going to dictate to you a shloka. Write this down. Very beautiful it is. Okay. Yachapnoti. Yachapnoti. And later on we'll request Ramuji to, or whoever is there, to paste the shloka in WhatsApp. We can copy it. Yachapnoti yadadatte. Yadadatte. Yachapnoti yadadatte. Yachati. Yachati. Double T-I. Yachati. I'm going to explain it so you'll have a chance to correct your spellings and all that. Yachati vishayaniha. 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 Yachapnoti yadadatte. Yachati vishayaniha. Okay. Yachasya. Yachasya. Yachasya santato bhavaha. Santato bhavaha. Yachasya santato bhavaha. Okay. Tasmat. Tasmat. Atmeti. Tasmat atmeti kirtyate. Tasmat atmeti kirtyate. Yeah, some of you may be slow in writing this down. That's okay, don't worry. I'm going to explain all these things. Okay. Tasmat atmeti kirtyate. So this shloka tells why the self is called Atma. That's what he's saying. Yachapnoti. That which ap. There is a root in Sanskrit called ap. Like in Hindi, ap. That is, ap is you, but here that is not the thing. Ap. Ap. Ap means that which pervades. The word, the dhatu ap has many meanings. Gains, achieves, spreads, pervades. All meanings it has. Ap. Ap. So here the meaning is vyapnoti, spreads. That which is pervasive. Yachapnoti. Yachapnoti. Yadadatte. Second word in the shloka. Yadadatte. Da. Da is to give. Danam. Danam. To give. The gift is called danam. The word donate in English comes from the Sanskrit da. Danam. Donate. Okay. Give. Ada. Ada is opposite of da. To take, to receive, to consume. Ada. Echapnoti yadadatte. That which consumes, that which swallows, that which takes into itself, that which resolves the entire universe into itself is called Atma. Okay? That which pervades, that which into which everything resolves. Yadadatte. Okay, third one. Yachati. Yachati. Yat cha ati. That's how you split it. Yachita ati. So that ad dhatu is there. Ad. Ati. Ati means eats, consumes. Okay? Experiences. Atti. That which experiences, which means what? That which is the essence of every experience. That which is the essence of every experiencer. And therefore known to experience. Therefore called as the ultimate experiencer. Yachati. And what is this Atma experience? Vishayan iha. Vishayan iha. Iha means here. All the things that are there to experience. Every human being, if you ask them to talk about their life, they're going to talk about what? Their own experience starting from their date of birth. Whatever they can remember, they can say. Say, keep on saying, keep on saying, keep on saying. That becomes an autobiography. Every chapter is a list of experiences. Every page is a list of experiences. Every paragraph is a list of experiences. Experience, I did this, I did that, I failed here, I had trauma at this time, everything. List of experiences. So, yachati vishayaniha. Experiencing the things and people around us. Our world we experience. Yachati vishayaniha. Yasya santato bhavaha. Bhavaha, existence. Yasya bhavaha, one whose existence is santataha. Yasya santato bhavaha. Okay, santato, permanent, always, satatam. Yasya santato bhavaha, which means which always exists, which never perishes, which is never born. Ajo nityam shashvatoyam puranaha. So that is the yasya santato bhavaha. Tasmad atmeti kirtyate. Kirtyate, well known, known famously. Okay, well known as Atma. Well known as Atma. Tasmat. Because of these attributes, Atma is well known. Well known means what? We don't get up in the morning and talk about Atma, Well known means it must be a topic of conversation. You ask our Sanskrit teachers how much, there are many people sitting in this class. You ask them, in your Sanskrit, do you talk about Atma and all? Even though it is Sanskrit, there is no Atma discussion. All Kalidasa, they'll talk about. Meghadutam, they'll talk about. Samasa, they'll talk about. They'll talk about all kinds of stuff. Except Atma, they'll talk about. You ask our teachers later, they'll tell you. They are also talking about Anatma Vidya only. Within Dharmartha Kama framework, whatever they are talking, they don't go anywhere near Atma. But this sloka is saying Atma iti kirtyate. It is famous because of this. Yeah, it is famous because there is nothing else like this. There is nothing else like this. Everything is finite. But here this one all pervasive. Pervades. Apnoti. What about everything else? Finite. Small pervasive. Maybe big, huge. Maybe it is solar system. Big, huge, my God. Maybe it's this galaxy, that Milky Way. Even bigger. And they are saying there are many more galaxies. Andromeda and this and that, they keep on coming out. Somebody discovered a new galaxy. Some news will come suddenly. Means what? There is no end to this. Huge, massive. You can't even imagine the dimensions. Okay. So yadadatte. So like this, nothing is like Atma. That which consumes. Means what? When things disappear, things resolve, things perish. Law of conservation of mass is there. Nothing really perishes. Science itself has told us that. Law of conservation of energy. Science itself has told us. We say, correct, we say tick mark, yes, tick mark, yes. And we will say, when things disappear, means what? There is a time when everything resolves, the entire universe resolves. Dissolves means disappears as the way you know it. It doesn't exist in the way it exists now. And then what happens? It will resolve into Atma, the only existent thing. Like the tree will resolve into its seeds, all seed form. And that seed also, the essence of the seed also is Atma. So it all resolves. That's why Atma, famously known as Atma. Like that the shloka is saying. So I can repeat the shloka. Now you should know what it is. Yachapnoti yada datte yachapti vishayaniha yasya santato bhavaha tasmadatmeti kirtyate. Okay. So I can now ask the question, where did we see the shloka? All to our senior students I am asking.
Kathopanishad Bhashyam, Linga Purana, Shankaracharya refers. It's from Linga Purana, Shankaracharya refers this in Kathopanishad Bhashya.
Kathopanishad, when we studied the Bhashyam, 2.1.1. If you want to make a note, you can go back to your notes. And that is where we studied it. Linga Puranam. It comes from Linga Purana. Alright. So, Atmabodha. So we got an introduction to Atma and the knowledge, Bodha, of this kind of Atma, which is not something out there. Hey, it is not something out there. It is you. It is you. Eventually I have to figure out this all-pervasive Atma, into which everything resolves and which is the essence of every experiencer is really me. That's the real me, so to speak. That real me is what I want to know. Why I should know all these things? Shastram says that it is the ignorance of the self which is the cause for all your problems. Emotional problems, for your sense of lack of fulfillment. It is your ignorance of yourself. And ignorance of yourself has only one solution. Ignorance of yourself has only one solution, and that is knowledge. Only knowledge can dispel ignorance. Okay. Laptop charging. Okay. Only knowledge can dispel ignorance. No, nothing else can remove ignorance. That is why, if ignorance of the self is the cause of samsara or my problems, then there is only one solution, and that is knowledge of the self. Therefore, Atmabodha. Atma Ajnanam will require Atma Jnanam or Atmabodha. Okay. Atma Avidya will require Atma Vidya. We are studying what is called Atma Vidya. Knowledge of the self. Okay. So, having said that, now Shankara in the first shloka, Tapobhihi Kshina Papanam, in that one shloka, he is talking about who is this text for? Who am I writing for? Like that he is explaining in that shloka. That means what? Any subject requires a particular patram, requires a particular audience. Okay? An audience that has a particular interest in that subject. Particular preparedness, some specific preparedness must be there. That audience possesses certain prerequisites. Like if the student graduated from high school and they applying for college, admission in college, they will ask for what? Minimum, basics. Where did you study? High school. Did you pass the high school? Show me your mark sheet, final year mark sheet. All this they are going to ask. Why? They want to find out your background. Because minimum undergraduate is required, or rather minimum high school is required before going to undergraduate. Minimum UG required before you apply for a master's. Minimum. They are all called prerequisites. Preparedness. The university is checking for your preparedness. And the preparedness may include many more things besides just an academic preparedness. What did you do? What kind of service projects you did? Did you do any internship? What internship? Which company? What did you do during that time? They ask all kinds of questions. Just to get into college. These days it's getting more and more complicated. And so, because that's how the system is evolving. Anyway, that's all called what? Preparedness. They are checking whether you are prepared. You have the right qualifications to set foot into this university. Correct? That's what they are checking. And each subject has a separate types of preparedness. If I want to cook, then also I need certain preparedness. Some preparedness I need. There are some people who come who already know a lot. They just want to know a little bit. How do I make some specific types of sweets and all they want to know. Okay. That you can have classes and make some. I saw somebody recently. One organization in Delhi is conducting a conference. I got an invitation for that conference. Okay. But this lady, she is doing a service to to the government of India. But she's actually employed, and she's she's in her WhatsApp profile. She has, please come to the conference in Delhi, December 23-24. National Mithai and Namkeen Conclave. NMNC, something like that. Mithai and Namkeen Conclave. Beautiful, no? Namkeen means all this bundi, etc. Navaratna mix, that's all namkeen. Mithai, you know what mithai is. National Mithai. So, if you want to do so, go there and you can, what will you do? You can learn certain things and you can also sell certain things. If you know how to make certain things, you can say, this is what we do. So, there also you need some qualifications. The child is there hardly 2 years old, 3 years old. It's running around and all that. It doesn't even know ABC. But if you tell it 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 and all that, it won't work. Try to teach addition, it won't work. Why? Preparedness is not there. That preparedness Shankaracharya is talking about in this shloka. Okay? So we'll continue the next class with that. With that specific preparedness needed for knowing the self, for studying this particular subject. We'll see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.